and the truth gon' flow like summer, right? Yeah, the spotlight glow from the stars, you know, to the ones about to blow. Hear the stories unfold from the grind in the dark to the diamonds in gold. Every beat, every dream, every risk they chose. We keep it raw, no scripts, no pose. Tune in close, let the energy grow. New voices rising, yeah, we running the show. Bring the stage to the mic, let the whole world know. It's the Fed Up Show. 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 Yeah. It's the Fed Up Show. Where the real ones talk and the truth gon' flow like summer, right? Yeah, the spotlight glow from the stars, you know, to the ones about to blow. Hear the stories unfold from the grind in the dark to the diamonds in gold. Every beat, every dream, every risk they chose. We keep it raw, no scripts, no pose. Tune in close, let the energy grow. New voices rising, yeah, we running the show. Bring the stage to the mic, let the whole world know. It's the Fed Up Show. 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 Yeah. It's the Fed Up Show. Where the real ones talk and the truth gon' flow like summer, right? Yeah, the spotlight glow from the stars, you know, to the ones about to blow. Hear the stories unfold from the grind in the dark to the diamonds in gold. Every beat, every dream, every risk they chose. We keep it raw, no scripts, no pose. Tune in close, let the energy grow. New voices rising, yeah, we running the show. Bring the stage to the mic, let the whole world know. It's the Fed Up Show.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, McKeelery, aka Miss Fed Up, and I'm coming live back to you to Live on the Fed Up Show. I'm back. Yes, thank you once again for tuning in for another episode of Live on the Fed Up Show. This is the space where real conversations happen, real stories are told, and real people are empowered to walk boldly in their purpose. This show was created to inspire, uplift, and challenge you to push beyond limitations, silence the doubt, and step fully into the vision that has been placed on your life. Whether you're an entrepreneur, creative, leader, dream chaser, or simply someone looking for motivation to keep going, you are in the right place tonight. So go ahead and tag a friend, share this live, and get ready for powerful dialogue, authentic moments, and life-changing insight. This is Live on the Fed Up Show, and the conversation starts right now. What's up, everybody, and happy pre-Eve Friday. Okay, it's almost the weekend. Thank you once again for tuning in. Tonight on Live on the Fed Up Show, we're stepping into the world of music, creativity, sacrifice, and the relentless pursuit of purpose, because our next guest understands something many people only see from the outside. The music industry may look glamorous, but behind every song, every performance, and every accomplishment is pressure, discipline, and sacrifice. Our next guest is not just an artist, not just a songwriter, not just a producer. He is a creator whose music, passion, and dedication has earned recognition in some of the highest levels in the industry. From creating records that connect with emotions in real life, to navigating the ups and downs of the music business, to continuing to evolve creatively while staying true to his sound and purpose, James Artissen represents resilience, artistry, and the power of trusting your gift even when the journey gets difficult. Tonight, this conversation is going to be real, educational, inspiring, and full of game for artists, creatives, and dream chasers everywhere. Please help me welcome to the stage on the Live on the Fed Up Show podcast, singer, songwriter, producer, multi-Grammy nominated artist, James Artissen.
Hey, what's going on? What's
You
going on? I'm good. I'm good. Can't complain.
Me either. Me either. Once again, welcome to Live on the Fed Up Show, and thank you so much for reaching out and wanting to come onto the platform. I'm gonna tell you, when I got your message, I clicked on your profile, and the first thing I saw was Grammy nominated artist. I'm like, wait a minute, Grammy nominated artist reaching out to me, like me? Okay, yeah, I see you, Jesus. I see you. So
Much
thank
love.
you so much. I appreciate it. And kudos to you. I'm glad that you did reach out because I was able to do a little research on you and go hear a few of your songs and get acquainted with you. So I do want to say congratulations on everything you have accomplished so far.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Most definitely. I know you're busy. You've been in meetings all day. I feel like I'm busy sometimes. Yeah, even when I make myself busy. So we're gonna jump
It ain't
right
nothing
into
wrong with a
this.
little busy.
Okay. So we're gonna jump right into this interview and hopefully inspire somebody, motivate them, and put them on to the next single you have coming out, which is what? Just Another Day.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
So
yes.
so let's jump into this. When did you realize that music was something that you wanted to pursue?
Oh man. Well, first and foremost, I'm from Queens, New York.
Okay.
So I've always been around music. Music was in, the environment, the house, just really anywhere I can get my hands on, it was there. And just in different styles and different genres. So I always say I kind of got, I guess, bit by the music bug real early,
Mm-hmm.
just by I guess association. So that was the first thing. But just me being like a sponge and just a curious kid, I always wanted to know how to, do entertainment. So whether it was
Mm-hmm.
music, whether it was just performing, whether it's just some form of artistic expression, that was me growing up. And music was just one of those formats. So, as time went on, I just kind of figured I'm like, okay, let me learn everything that I possibly can about, music structure and let me really dive into what do I like about music the most,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where it started from.
Yes, that's what's up. Now, what real life experiences or that what real life experiences did you go through that may have influenced your songwriting the most?
um I mean, I think with a lot of different people, not just me, when you coming up in the industry or just in life period, you're gonna always get a lot of no's versus a lot of yeses.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get a lot of people that don't understand your vision. They don't understand how you think and how you maneuver, and what is your plan and your journey going to look like down the road. So a lot of it was just me figuring out things on my own, and a lot of trial and error, and trying to figure out, how do I um, not only stand out amongst a sea of plenty of other people, but what makes me happy doing it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because anybody could be a writer, anybody could be a
Mm-hmm.
producer, an artist, but it takes that person to really figure out, okay, do I really want to do this, or do I want to just be famous? Do I want to make money from it? So those are the questions that I had to ask myself really early, and really figure out how to maneuver.
Most definitely. Now, what genre of music would you put yourself in? Are you an R&B artist? Like what genre do you classify your music?
You know what? These days, I really can't even classify it because it's just so much infusion of ideas and styles and genres. So if I really had to, I would probably say maybe progressive R&B.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just because I feel that it kind of has different nuances in it, in the sense of I can take from this genre, that genre, and infuse a sound that's different to where you really don't know what to classify it, but it sounds good.
Yes. Now I heard you early in the interview when you said that music was in your household. Are you one of those that started out in the church too? Were you in the choir? Were you singing in the house at the get-togethers? But they put you in front of everybody like sing that song, boy. And did you start there, or is it something that over time, like when you hit your teenage years or so, that you start picking it up? Or was it early in age?
Actually, no, I wasn't in the church like that. I wasn't doing any of that stuff. I was just really, really the only person in my family that was doing music or was,
Mm,
quote unquote, musically inclined. With the exception of my father, he was good at playing drums, but he
mhm.
was more so, he did a lot of security for a lot of artists back in the day. So that was his lane. But as far as creating music, I was the only person in my family that did music.
Wow. Now, do you write as well? You write your own songs as well?
Uh, these days I kind of co-write with other writers here and there, just to get a different ear and a different field. If I'm stuck on something, or and I'm also a big stickler of everything doesn't have to be written by me or
Yeah.
produced by me. I'm big on collaboration, so that's really been the focus as of recently. But years back, definitely was a big focus on me writing, a lot of stuff solely, producing stuff solely, and plus, at that time, it's all about proving yourself,
Yeah.
and that's all about your catalog and what you can bring to the table to implement to other people. So yeah, that's how I began.
In the industry, is there anybody that you want to work with that you haven't worked with already?
Uh, I mean, there's tons of people I haven't worked with yet, but in a nutshell, I'm really just a fan of people who want to work with me.
Yeah.
I'm not really somebody that forces a situation or
Hmm.
forces a song or anything like that. I feel like it has to be organic, it has to be authentic, and we have to be on the same page. So, if there's somebody that wants to, do something with me, or vice versa, I think the universe makes that happen.
Yes. For those that's watching, or for those that'll come back and watch later that want to take this same journey you have taken, what is a piece of advice you would give them when it comes to stepping out there and getting themselves out there in the industry, getting known, producing their songs, getting their song out on different platforms? Because everybody, no matter what career path they take, everybody gonna go through some sacrifices. Everybody gonna go through some bumps in the roads. So I love for those guests to come on who have conquered the dream or in the process of conquering the dream to just tell a few sacrifices and give just a little advice to those who want to come behind them and do the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna sacrifice a lot of time. You're gonna sacrifice a lot of sleep. You're gonna sacrifice sometimes friendships or, any kind of relationship for you to go after your dream and go
Hmm.
after your goals and go after what you think is meant for you. Sometimes what's meant for you isn't meant for other people, or they may not understand that. So sometimes you got to be on a solo journey before you change those circumstances, and I can attest to that. So um you just you gotta stay focused, you gotta stay consistent, and you gotta keep faith within yourself at all times, because we all know that sometimes this game could be a rat race.
Yes.
There's plenty of people that's pretty much doing the same thing that you're doing, right, or trying to. So
Hmm.
it's all about your tenacity of, okay, how am I gonna cut through? And to cut through, you got to figure that out, and that takes time.
Yes.
So that's a really big piece to it. And as far as advice, I would probably say, a quote that I live by, still to this day from years and years back, is you got to learn from people that are better than you.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that. And you mentioned something as well. You said it's a lot of people doing what you do. There are a lot of artists out here in the industry. There are a lot of lawyers, but our grandma used to always say, but they're not you. So with that being said, how do you stay creative in an industry that's constantly changing? The trends are changing, the sounds are changing, the competition is changing, or the different artists are changing. How do you keep yourself creative in the industry and set yourself apart from others?
I think you got to be willing to evolve, because nothing stays the same forever. So that goes The same with creating or creativity or being an artist or being a writer. You know, everything is about elevation and evolution in your craft. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
not willing to do that, then you're just going to be stuck in the same bubble that you've been in for however long.
Yeah.
But also too, you know, not to emulate, but you need to just kind of have one foot in to see what's happening around you and what's happening in the industry and
Mm-hmm.
how are things shifting and maneuvering, you know, around you for you to, you know, kind of take a page from and study, you know, not to implement it, you know what I'm saying, but
Mm-hmm.
just to watch, you know,
Yeah.
and figure out, okay, you know, what is your next move.
Yes. And with what you saying that, have you ever felt a time where you felt peer pressure to change your sound or your identity in order to fit into the industry at that time?
No, never. And reason being is because, you know, not to sound you know, egotistical, but you know, I've always seen myself as a trendsetter and as a leader. So a lot of people look at me and they watch how I've maneuvered throughout the years to, you know, I wouldn't say copy me, but you know, they've admired how I've maneuvered through the years because I've never wanted to be anybody else but myself. And I
Mm-hmm.
never wanted to sound like anybody, or I never wanted to look like anybody else, or I never wanted to conform to, you know, what was the most popular thing happening, or whatever the case is. You know, I think a lot of times for you to have that mindset, you have to have a fearless mindset, and
Yes.
you have to have a mindset of either I'm gonna do this to the highest level, or I may not do it at all. You know,
Yes.
you gotta have that will to win. So that's always been me, is I've always had the will to win.
Yeah, a good supporter of mine told me a few weeks ago. He said, "Man, listen, right now you got to make a decision. You gonna go big or you gonna stay home? Which
Yeah,
one? Which one you gonna do? It's time. It's time to go big. You've played it safe thus far. Now it's time to go big." He said, if you go big and you fail in that moment, it's fine. Get up, shake it off, go big again,
they keep it
and,
moving. Yeah,
and keep it moving because eventually you're gonna hit that home run. Eventually, if you keep swinging, it's gonna hit. So
yeah.
I'm glad you said that. Also, was there ever a moment on the journey, because everybody knows when you get yourself out there and you're building your brand, you're building your name, or whatnot, whoo, like you said, those no's are gonna come, those bumps are gonna come. Has there ever been a moment on the journey that you second guessed your career choice?
I wouldn't say second guess the career choice, but maybe at certain times questioning some of the decisions that I've made. But you know, within that, you don't know what you don't know, and
Mm-hmm.
it's all about trial and error. So sometimes you have to go through certain things for you to understand what you don't need to do and what you do need to do. And you know, I mean, that's just, to me, that's standard. You know,
Yes.
you gotta hit your head a couple times. You know, you gotta sometimes sign that bad contract or deal
Yes.
with this person for you to understand, okay, I did that, that was a no-no, we moving forward, now I know how to move, you know. So I've had plenty of those situations for me to understand it. So um I think that's just the way of life.
Most definitely. Most definitely. For those that want to go into music and become an artist, how important is it when it comes to ownership and understanding the business side of the music industry?
Super important, super. I mean, for one, you know, because I hear a lot of artists that, you know, they say that, okay, well, you know, I need a manager, I need this person handling this, I want to own this and I want to own that. And I think what people miss sometimes is in the beginning, you have nothing to manage. It's about
Mm,
building.
mm,
So you're building your infrastructure, you're building your foundation, you're building your name, you're building your catalog. So within that building phase, there's no revenue. There's no there's nothing really to manage to make it bigger until it is bigger.
Yes.
So when you get to that point, then of course, you have to bring in other parties. But in the beginning, it's just about growing and building. So that's one part of it. But when it comes to the ownership part, you can't even have that talk until you understand music registration, until you understand metadata, until you understand copyrights, until you understand how do you even monetize you as the entity, as the brand, so even if a company comes to you and say, hey, we want to sign you as a writer or an artist or whatever the case is, that's where the business acumen comes in, because you have to be well aware of the business language and how things are ran now. So if you know that if you're going to sign a contract that's going to give you an advance, and by you taking that advance, you're giving up 50% of your publishing, then that's something that you have to understand.
Yes. And for those that's coming in, new artists and independent artists, what are, I would say, what are two, how could I put this? What are two mistakes they need to try to avoid making that could possibly hold them back in the industry?
Again, your business acumen. If you do not understand um, the business, then again, you're just in a rat race with a lot of other people. But then on the flip side, let's just say you're not signing with any company, you're an independent artist. Um, then you have to understand how to make sure you're getting paid from your work. So making sure that you're signed up with a PRO, making sure that your music is registered properly, making sure that you understand the different forms of royalties. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
those are the things that I coach people on a lot of times, especially when they're first getting in, because unfortunately a lot of that information isn't going to be taught to people. It's just really of you get thrown out to the wolves and you got to figure it out.
Yes, I'm glad you said that because once again, that's what live on the Fed Up Show premises is to try to bring people on who are willing to give out a blueprint, advice, suggestions, and information to help the next person to keep them from making the same mistakes we made along the way. So I'm glad that you said that. So piggybacking off of that, so you do offer mentoring services, or you take new artists up under your wing when you have time. And if that is so, how can they book you for mentorship?
So I really don't do mentorships, but I try to give as much information as possible when asked, or if I just see somebody that needs it, I have no
Mm-hmm.
problem in giving information. It's there for a reason. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
I'm not a gatekeeper. So whatever information needs to be had, I give it. Um, but as far as artists is concerned, I do have my label imprint, which is Humble Sound Records, and we have signed artists on the label. We have about 3 artists so far, and we're not opposed to signing more. But as of right now, we got our hands full with what we have. But we're always, you know, again, teaching information. We do offer distribution deals for artists that do need that, and we do offer promotional help too if they need it. So it's just a matter of reaching out.
Yes. Now let's get into your music. What message do you hope listeners receive when they hear your music?
Relatability. Really just um I would say I want people to not only relate to the stories, but understand the stories and understand the authenticity behind it. Because when I write, it's not, a fabricated story or a fabricated concept. And, it's either something that's I'm going through, or something or someone close to me, or something that's dear to me. So that's really where I write from. And, you know, when I hear people listening to my music, for the most part, they have the consensus of this is exactly what I'm going through, which
Yes.
is which always gives me the notion that okay, I'm doing what I need to be doing.
Yes. Now, how has it been to be known as a Grammy nominated artist? How does that feel? What type of feeling did they give you when you got your first Grammy nomination?
Amazing, amazing. It's always great to be recognized by your peers and the Recording Academy and all that stuff. So it's I wouldn't say it's the only thing that you're doing it for, but it
Hmm.
is a great accolade to have on your discography. Is
Hmm.
who wouldn't want that?
Exactly, exactly. And I just want to say, because I just got well, now I'm a finalist for the Playwright of the Year because I'm also a playwright. So I will be in Atlanta July 18th at the Gospel Choice Music Awards, and I'm a finalist
Oh
for both.
wow, wow.
And I was talking to a friend the other day, and I said, "Man, listen, I want it. I want it. I want it so bad because I've been at this for 13 years now. 13 years now, and just now in a year and a half, I can see the fruits of the labor. I can see the doors starting to open. I can see the names starting to travel out past and to go into rooms that I've dreamed and prayed for it to go into. And I'm like, man, I want
Yes,
to win. I want to win that award. Now I want that award. And like you said,
yes.
it's not needed, but it just makes you continue to work harder for it, and it just make you say, hey, all the work I put into, people are noticing it, they're recognizing it, and they're giving me my flowers where I can still see them. So kudos to you for the nomination. And did you say, like I said, because I'm telling you, when I got the email that I was a finalist, I was like, yep, the price just went up. Ticket prices going up on the play, ticket prices going up,
Oh
all
yeah,
of
oh yeah.
that.
Yeah, I mean, as it should. I mean, like you said, you're reaping the fruits of your labor, and that's exactly
Yes.
how I felt. And I think sometimes the misconception could be that things happen fast,
Mm-hmm.
or things
Don't.
could happen fast, which in some cases it could. It depends on the situation, but for the most part it's a grind. It's a journey. It's a lot. It's like a roller coaster. It's up and down, side to side. So it took me years and years and years for me to get to that point
Yeah.
of a Grammy nomination. So it's not an easy game. You have to love this.
Yes, most definitely. You're definitely right. Now you have a new single getting ready to drop. Just Another
Yes,
Day. Let's
yes.
talk about Just Another Day. What can we expect from Just Another Day?
Yeah, so just another day. That's the brand new single. Myself, Big Gip, and DJ Barn One. Actually dropping tonight at midnight. And basically it's almost like that nostalgic 90s hip hop feel with R&B. We kind of took it back with the 90s grungy hip hop production, just kind of push you in the mindset of like a Tribe Called Quest on the production side, and then kind of gives you like the smooth um 90s R&B, like if you were listening to like a almost like maybe a Jodeci or something like that, with
Mm,
our spin on it, and then Gibb just annihilated it with the verses. So it's definitely a dope song. It has a different feel that I think people would be definitely interested and surprised to hear us on, but it makes sense.
yes. Now you said it drops at midnight tonight. How can they go download it? Where can they stream it at?
It'll be available all streaming platforms worldwide. Whatever ones you have: Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Amazon, iTunes, wherever you got your music streaming on, you buying it, it'll be available.
And then I was on your page about a week or two ago. The Art Dealer, was that an album? Is that an album or was that a single?
So the Art Dealer, that is my latest EP that I released
EP.
with an
Okay.
artist by the name of Big Bags out of North Carolina. So it's a 5-song EP. We just released our latest music video called "What You Trying to Do," which is one of the singles off the project. And yeah, the Art Dealer is just one of those collab projects that's implementing the R&B, but also with the street hip hop edge to it on Bagside. So definitely a dope project.
Yes. Now that one as well, they can download that one off of all the streaming platforms as well.
Yes, yes, that is available everywhere.
And for those that would like you to book you to come do a performance, concert, anything to perform a song or whatever they want to book you for, how can they book you?
You can reach out to my team, humblesoundmedia@gmail.com. Shoot them an email, and they'll definitely get back to you with all the details.
All right. And besides the new song "Just Another Day" dropping tonight, what else do you have new coming up, or what else are you working on that you can tell us about?
Oh man, we got a lot going on. So besides just another day, I have my artist Tanisha Kelly. She has her next single dropping June 12th, which is called The Phoenix. So be on the lookout for that. I have another single with Cujo Goody and Lil Jon called Whole Room Lit, which is coming out June 19th. So look out for that. We're finishing up Tanisha Kelly's album for the summertime. I'm finishing up my debut album for the summertime, which will probably be into August. Um, and I'm also working on the James Artissen documentary as well.
Mhm. Wow. Okay, you got a lot going on. You got a lot
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on. Okay. Are, are you going out to the BT Awards? Will you be out
You
there?
know what? This year I'm not going to be able to make it. It's so much work to be done. There's so much going on. I can't even make it out there. But I'm always seeing what's happening. So a lot of my friends and peers is going to be out there. So hopefully some of them get the win.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Um, and then let me also ask you, what legacy do you want your music and artistry to leave behind once you're done?
Um, I'm always one to think about the impact and the authenticity and the quality of the music. I think when you leave this earth and you leave behind your catalog, you want people to hear the best from you, or
Mhm.
at least give them the notion that you put 100% into your work. And that's how I feel about my work.
Yes. And if there are some aspiring artists that's going to watch this, just a little piece of advice. If you could sit down and talk to them right now, or if you could speak to the young James Artisan, what would you tell them? I guess they didn't want him to tell y'all. Hold on, let me let him know his camera dropped off. All right, one moment, y'all. I had to let him know his camera. There you go.
Okay. um, okay, so I
I
was
guess
saying.
I guess you don't want to tell y'all nothing, no.
No, I was saying, I think, you gotta love this. You gotta love what you do. You gotta understand why you're doing it. And
Yes.
the end part of that is you gotta learn from people that are better than you.
Mhm.
You gotta learn from those who are better than you, who've done more than you, who just those who you have a respect for. I think once you have that mindset, you really can't go wrong because there's always room for growth. You know, so in any profession, it's all about growth. So that's always what I live by.
Yes. Now, a lot of people, I tell when I'm talking and I'm mentoring or I'm speaking on my journey, I tell people you have to be built for the no. You have to be strong enough
Yes.
for a no. Because if not, that no would deter you and that no would break you. And if that's so, this is not what you need to be chasing after. So, for those that may not be strong enough or wise enough to be able to handle a no, just a little piece of advice to someone because they're going to face it, how to take that no and continue to persevere on.
Unfortunately, in this business, you gotta have thick skin.
Mhm.
You have to really understand that there's going to be a lot of storms that you got to weather. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So it really takes that person to really have that fearless energy and mindset that, hey, I believe in myself that much that I really don't care about what other people think or say. I really don't really care about what people think about me. All that matters is how I feel about me and what I'm
Sir.
creating.
Yes. 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 Thank you for that. Do you have any live performances that's coming up or they're scheduled or anything? And if so, what's the best way to follow that until we can be able to know where you're going to be and be able to get our tickets so we can come see you perform live if you have any performances set
Absolutely.
up?
Yes, we'll be announcing performances probably the beginning of August, before the album rollout starts to comes out. So all the details will be on my website, jamesartisan.com. And of course, it'll be on social media as well. So once we make those announcements, you guys will see all the dates.
And what are all the platforms they can follow you on? Facebook, Instagram, what all platforms are you on?
All social media, at James Artisan. Any social media you have, I'll pop right up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/James Artisan. You can also visit the website, www.jamesartisan.com. And yeah, stay tuned. It's a lot happening.
Yes. Again, I've said it to you two times since I met you backstage, and now congratulations. And
Thank you.
again, for someone as myself who is traveling this journey of building my brand with the Live on the Fed Up Show podcast, again, for you to reach out to me, I tell me it hits different. It hits different when I'm reaching out to people versus when people reach out to me. And I'm like, okay, it's being seen, and that's why I tell people when you are creative and you're trying to get your name out there, post, 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 post. Just keep posting. Somebody is going to see you. Somebody that hasn't heard of you, somebody that don't know nothing about you, will eventually see you. And you'll have a Grammy nominated artist on your platform like me. Okay, so so post the content, which will also leave me to ask you this before I let you go. How big do you believe social media is when it comes to a person's brand and music or whatever they have going on to be able to be successful? How big is social media right now?
It's huge because
Mm-hmm.
you're able to connect with people you wouldn't normally be able to connect with, worldwide. And we all know right now that this is a content driven time right now. So you have to have content. You have to have things that will engage people on your platforms. But and I always tell people too. Your social media is almost like your resume. So what you have on your social platforms is a representation of you and your
Every time my boy get ready to drop some gems on y'all, know what happened to his camera? Every time. See, the devil don't want y'all to get these gems. Let me let him know. Okay, I think he's coming back. I'm gonna give him a second, see if his camera pops back on. Hey James, can you hear me? All right, 1 second, y'all. He's trying to come back on. All right, so to all the aspiring artists out there, creators, there he is.
Okay, we back. People always calling you when you're doing
Back.
interviews.
Yes, I figured that's what it was. I figured when I saw it spin. Look, that's why I put mine on do not disturb. Because
Oh
yes,
man.
it would definitely do that. It would definitely do that. And I told her, I said, every time you heard the drops from gems, yeah, interrupted
Yeah.
telephone never sounds. So you gonna drop these gems.
Look, now we gonna get it.
Go
We
get
gonna
it.
get it out.
You, yeah, go ahead and get it out. And I'm gonna hit them with the closing once you drop these gems. Get to them.
Absolutely. So again, you can follow me
Which
all
I think,
social media
yeah,
at James Artissen. Um, you can follow me on my website, jamesartisan.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/James Artisan. And all the details and all the updates to be posted on the socials as well. And yeah, for those who are trying to build themselves up on social platforms, you got to be consistent with your content, and your content has to be professional. It has to be a reflection of you. So if you're on there looking crazy and you're doing all this stuff, you just got to remember that that's what people are gonna know you for. So you got to be mindful of that.
mhm, most definitely. Well, look at James, busy person. They trying to get a hold to you. Somebody trying to get in the studio or something. So listen, I thank you once again for gracing the platform and
No
that
problem.
paid attention, that tuned in. I hope you all go on YouTube and every streaming platform and type his name and pull up the song. You won't be disappointed. I have enjoyed the ones I've heard. But at midnight tonight, his new single will drop just another day. It dropped tonight at midnight. So please go ahead and download his song and stream it and get that, so we can make sure he stays booked and busy. Stay tuned. Follow him on all social media platforms, and him live on stage. Thank you. It was an insightful and inspiring conversation. Thank you for your journey. Thank you for your wisdom, and thank you for the truth with us tonight. Your story has reminded us it's not just talent. It's about discipline, resilience, sacrifice, and staying committed to your purpose, even through difficult seasons.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I told you, it's that devil. He don't like it when the Lord be moving, man. But
Right,
hey, it is
right.
what it is. I'm gonna finish my closing, so they better well wait. So, but tonight you gave artists and dream chasers real insight into what it truly takes to survive and evolve in the music industry while remaining authentic to themselves. To everyone that watched tonight, let tonight remind you that your gift has value, but your consistency, your mindset, and your belief in yourself are what will carry you through the journey. So, James, once again, thank you so much. Congratulations, and
Thank
I
you.
wish much success, even surpasses the dreams and prayers you have sent up for yourself. So, to the Fed Up family, thank you for tuning in, sharing the live. Continue to support the Impactful Conversations. Make sure you follow me on YouTube on the Fed Up Productions. It's free, everybody. Just go hit subscribe, okay? And join us again for another powerful episode of Live on the Fed Up Show. Until next time, to every dream chaser, your dream can be conquered, but you got to put in the work to do so. Stay creative, stay focused, and make sure you stay fed up about your purpose. It was Grammy nominated artist James Artissen came live on the Fed Up Show. Your girl Makila Laree, aka Miss Fed Up, came live back to you. Thank y'all so much. Have a good night, everybody, and have a great, safe weekend. Holla.
Peace.
Peace.